cultural differences. Who's right and who's wrong, and how do we deal with them? Coming up next on Pastor Bob Daily. Well, no matter where you travel, you realize that people are very much alike in some ways and, wow, very different in others. You know, I've had the good fortune of traveling a lot in my life. Been to a lot of countries, a lot of different kinds of cultures, a lot of things that were quite delightful, and celebrating other people's lives and their cultures in ways, folks, that I never dreamed possible. But it also expanded my horizons. It also made me think about, well, those things that I was judgmental in. You know, I grew up, for instance, thinking that beer was satanic. Seriously. You know, the church when I was growing up, if you drank beer or smoked cigarettes, you were going to hell. And I always tell people, again, that you don't go to hell for smoking, you just smell like you've been there. But, you know, those two things really defined what I thought a good Christian was. A good Christian doesn't drink, and a good Christian doesn't smoke, and gosh, the list is really long. Those two are pretty big. And yet we said nothing about caffeine. We said nothing about overeating chocolate. We said nothing about some of the things that aren't so good for you too. And yet this thing with beer was a huge thing. And I remember the first time that I went to Europe, and I was in a situation where all of the Christians were drinking beer. And I thought, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? And I thought, God, how could you be pleased by this that's happening around me? And how can these people really be saved if they're drinking beer? And I realized that beer is not the issue. And in most cultures, beer is just something else that people drink as good wine is. Well, I've still never had beer to this day. Not for that reason, but just because I don't. But I think that it's an example of cultural differences that sometimes get in the way of us embracing each other. Don't let cultural differences divide. Find some things that unite us and go there. God bless you. Have a great day.